Howdy mates, good afternoon. How are we today? Happy summer solstice, June 20th, 2024. And of course, summer solstice is recognized as being the longest day of the year, and then also have the shortest night. So basically the Earth is at its maximum tilt, at least in the northern hemisphere, of 23.5 degrees. So basically, just the day after summer solstice, the northern hemisphere will slowly tilt further and further away from the sun. And then it will become vice versa. Now, aside from that, it's definitely humid out here for certain. I would probably say it's within the 70% range, so it's up there. And so that is an indication that summer is indeed here. But the plant that I was just showing you guys, it is what is known as the Hoary Puccoon. The term Puccoon is actually derived from the Powhatan tribe, meaning it refers to an extraction of a dye that would be used commonly for painting, for instance. It was specifically used for a red dye from the seed. And ironically, the seed itself, it's known to be like they're very small, comparable to a size of a nerd candy, and they're typically white. But it's a very showy flower, and the fact that the flower itself is a bit of a tube shape, and there's typically 5 petals. And for another part of the name of the plant, at least from the Latin, the scientific name, which I'll share in the description, is the fact that the leaves are a bit hairy, and they also have a bit of a downy appearance. Now, this is what you call a little more of a rare plant, at least in the state of Iowa. It's very particular about where it inhabits, which typically will include sandhills, which are a type of prairie that usually possesses sand, hence the name, but they have slopes, and therefore it tends to be very dry as well. It's very well draining, and so much of the plant life that you'll see here is very specific in terms of where it will inhabit. And the thing is, to propagate Hoary Puccoon, it's very difficult to do so. And that is why it is a bit more on the rare side. So like for instance, where I work, probably in the past, they've tried propagating it in our tallgrass prairie, and there was never any success. At least, not that I know of. So in other words, the puccoon is very particular about where it will inhabit and reside. But I also want to mention that with it being June 20th, we are in the middle of National Pollinator Week, which is focused upon our different groups of creatures, whether it's beetles, flies, butterflies, moths, ants, bees. You get the idea. National Pollinator Week is a way to recognize that without our pollinators, our way of life is pretty much done. Now, that sounds a bit drastic, right? Because in a sense, it is. Without our pollinators, they play the role of collecting the pollen, which is essentially the male reproductive aspect of a plant. It's basically like it's the sperm, more or less. The pollinators collect that, and then they go to another flower of that similar species and will allow reproduction to occur, therefore producing the food necessary for our survival. And that is a big significance of why we do need our pollinators. A lot of them, in general, are in peril because of the different uses of herbicide, pesticides, habitat loss, and so on. And that's why natural areas like this that will always remain untouched and protected ensures that our pollinators have a good home. Now, in particular, I'm not going to share the location of this place just because Hoary Puccoon is already a rare plant in and of itself, and I may have to break it up into a second video just because there's still more to this place that I haven't even mentioned. So, alright you guys, have a good one, take care, and of course, journey on a journey is onwards. See ya.